What's up, y'all? So in today's video, we'll be doing a music video breakdown. And I just kind of want to put you guys in the mindset of what I was thinking when I made this video. So maybe it can inspire you all, kind of give you some ideas, some lighting techniques, stuff like that. So out the gate, if you have any questions about what I've done so far in this video at any point in time, please comment down below. I'll respond to everybody who writes a comment. So before we get straight into it, what I do want to let you all know is how much I charge for this video production. Just kind of give you guys an idea how much you should be charging for a production of this size, and maybe hopefully put some more, money in your pocket. So for this production here is a little bit over $3K. That included me having an assistant, director's monitor, haze, lighting. I mean, I did a lot. I was pretty much a one-man band, but it's $1,500 per day. I think he had like a little extra accessories that add on to that, but essentially $1,500 per day. And we shot 3 music videos within those 2 days. Now for the main gear that I use for this project is gonna be my Sony a7S III, obviously, right? The Tamron 28-75 for versatility. Just in case I need to go wide, tight, or medium, I have that all in one lens. And plus I was using it with a matte box and Black Pro mist filters. So I didn't feel like taking that shit off every single time that I wanted to change the lens, you know what I mean? So we stuck with a very versatile zoom lens. I recommend that. The Falcon Eyes RX D224 Mark II, something like that. I always get that name wrong, but the Falcon Eyes light panel. Pavlo tubes, of course. A Dana Dolly. I absolutely love Dana Dollies. If I had to pick, I would probably choose a Dana Dolly over a gimbal. We'll get into that a little bit later. Obviously, I did use the gimbal on this project as well. And my last final piece of gear that I used was a director's monitor with the Hollyland 400 Mars S Pro. Now, before we start, kind of want to get into some little pre-tidbits before we get into the main meat and potatoes, which is number one, always have a pre-production plan in mind. Meet with your clients, kind of see what they want to do, discuss, go over things, color palette, shot lists, shot designs, however you want to do that. I personally use Milanote. Milanote's not sponsoring this video, but Milanote, if you want to sponsor this video, holla at your boy. But I love using them because I can easily grab things like Shot Deck and just drop it right there on my project. I can put notes in there, lines, everything. I love using Milanote. So always have some type of pre-production discussion or plan before you actually go out and shoot. It's gonna save you a lot of time and headache. Another thing that I messed up on is not shooting everything in 4K 60. I do love the 4K 24 150 shutter look. To me, it just looks real. I hate saying this word, but cinematic. But it just gave me a nice motion blur, and I wanted to kind of keep that, throughout the whole film process. But there are definitely times where I wish I had true slow-mo versus me using optical flow to slow down a 24 frames per second clip. It worked, but I would have just preferred to have, the conventional 4K 60. So I have a camera that can shoot 4K 60. So, if you have a camera that can shoot full frame 4K 60 the entire time, just trust me, use it. It's gonna save you a lot of headache just in case you do want to throw something down. Also, I recommend that, depending on your production, you definitely want to have a director's monitor. It's just not for your clients, but for you. And I say that because I recommend that you have an assistant. Having an assistant, have my wife and my actual AD there. Both of them, they just provide an extra set of eyes when you can't see certain things. So maybe the client's, the talent's hair is messed up, their makeup messed up, whatever the case is. Having an extra set of eyes on your project can help you and benefit you, because sometimes when you just focusing on a shot, getting your framing right, your composition, make sure the lighting is right, make sure this is right. Sometimes you're gonna miss over, not quote unquote little things, but things that you're just not paying attention to. So having a director's monitor is not only the benefit to the client, but it's also a benefit to you, especially if you have an assistant. Next, maximize your scenes at all your locations, right? Maximize your locations at all your scenes. I don't know, whichever one sounds better to you, use that one. As I'll be going over each location breakdown, some of these things are a little bit hard because I had to maximize the location, shooting so many different scenes in one location that it started to get a little bit harder. I'm like, damn, where else can I go? But always focus on trying to maximize, and that's why I say use a zoom lens, because you just changing your focal lengths can do a lot for the scene. So maybe instead of it being wide, you might be in that same room, but it looks completely different now with a different lighting setup, because now you at an 85 or now you at a 75. You see what I'm saying? So if you're trying to maximize location, use different focal lengths to change how it actually looks. Now that we got all the preliminary stuff out the gate, for all my OGs who've been rocking with me, man, please give me a thumbs up now, just in case y'all forget. You already know how I'm rocking on the channel. For all my newcomers, welcome. Please go ahead and smash that thumbs up button for me, because I'm pretty sure I done dropped some gems for y'all already out the gate. Also, follow me on IG at Brookssmedia with 2 S. I do a lot of BTS there, and trust me, you'll be surprised. I have fun on my IG. Now, for this video breakdown, we're gonna break down each locations, because everything had a different lighting setup, different use, different equipment use. So I couldn't just do it all in one sweep. So I'll try to breeze through this as fast as I can, but I also want to teach you things in the process. So here we go. Now, number one, location one was used for the song Fiddle Views. That's why you see my wife actually, and this is my wife. She's playing the violin, which also can look like a fiddle, right? But we just got that from Amazon and then returned it. Don't be afraid to return shit back to Amazon. If you don't need it, return it. For this first location here, we are doing just a all natural light We have a praise dance, and I made sure I shot all that in 4K 60, even some clips in 4K 120. But this is why I wish I had another Sony a7S III at the time versus the Sony a7 IV I was using, because I didn't want to unrig my cinema rig a7S III just to get those certain shots. So I just had to shoot those shots first just to knock them out the way. But use natural light for the entire time, especially with the white backdrop. The wardrobe was the same too, because I wanted him and everybody to be able to pop into all that greenery. So having him in all white, as you all saw my middle notes, having them all white, like kind of this green feel, just made our subject pop a little bit. And this is what I mean by cinematic look. Sometimes people think it's the camera, but you know, you looking at this project, you wouldn't be able to say like, oh man, this shot on an a7S III or whatever the case is. Like sometimes set design goes a long way. So having this an all white backdrop with them in all white as he's singing to his muse and to the camera just made him pop out a lot more. And for this one here, we was bound the duality of his bisexuality. He's bisexual, so in this particular song here, he was rapping to a guy, but we still want to kind of keep him mysterious, so you really just see the back of his head. Also, I kind of want to give you all some things that's kind of plan for when something goes wrong. So what went wrong on this set here? What went wrong on this set here is I didn't have enough sandbags, especially being outside with the wind blowing that big ass white backdrop. The wind was blowing a lot, so it was kind of hard to have the stand up by itself. So we actually had to get some people to like just stand behind it. So you can see them just holding the stands up together to make sure they don't fall. So just invest a lot of sandbags. Trust me, they cheap. You can go ahead and get sand from the beach. It's not, you know, or you can just go ahead and buy some, what's it, rock salt or the shit that, you know, you put on throw up to clean it up. You can buy some of that too, just kind of fill the sandbags too. Now, moving on to location 2. The name of this part is Do Not Disturb. That's the name of the title of the song here. And as you all can see from the first, like I said, I wanted everything to be seamless. So the transition to this one here. So even though this is the first song, we transition to location 1, so it could be like a seamless transition as you all just seeing the B-roll that I'm showing you. And this one here, as you can see, there's a woman in the bed, but again, we're not showing her face. It's still kind of keeping that mystery and his duality intact. And for this location, a lot of Chicago artists had used this location previously, so we didn't really want our locations to look like anybody else. So me sitting here trying to avoid that and record everything in such a way and maximize the locations was kind of difficult, but this is why I use different techniques. So like for this one here, in this project, or on this particular scene, I use a Dana Dolly. So I use a Dana Dolly because I didn't, you know, I could have used the gimbal, but it was something about the Dana Dolly kind of gave me more precise control. I was able to still keep, you know, I was able to use my tripod fluid head on it. So I was able to have this, again, more control, and it looked, to me, just looked more filmic versus using the gimbal, and I was able to still use my monitor and stuff like that. Now, some people can't do this like with their monitor and probably like a, you know, like a 2-hand rig, but you know, Dana Dolly to me just add like a more of a polished look, in my opinion. The Pablo tubes definitely came in handy. We're sitting here trying to light this subject a lot, so we bounced back and forth between, because there was one black box that had a whole bunch of lights in it, but again, a lot of artists had used that look before, so I just kind of came with my own look again, just keeping with the teal and orange with him in all black. So as you can see, again, with the duality piece, and he was in all white in the first location, in the second location, he's in all black. Again, the duality piece. But the Pablo tubes from side lighting to kind of make it look natural, not too hard. And again, the Falconized RTX D2 came in perfectly in clutch. The issue I ran into with this location here is that we started to use the backdrop. Well, we wanted to use a projector, but the problem is, even though we blacked out the windows, it was still too bright outside, so it means we ain't darkened it up enough. So we, you know, the first time we were shooting the projector on the wall thing, it didn't look as good. It was very, very flat. So when it actually got dark, we had one time to shoot this. We had a one-take shot to shoot this because we were stressed on time, and it turned out perfectly. Like, if you're gonna use stuff for projectors, make sure it's pitch black or just shoot it at night, especially like if you're in the building. Trust me, this makes all the difference. A lot more contrast, you can visibly see what's going on, and it just helped out a lot. Now, moving on to the last location, which is location 3, this is called Split. And again, Split is transitioning from field of views, as you see the transition here on screen. Now this one here is putting them all together. Again, we saw the one side of him that is into men, we saw one side of him that's into women, so now we kind of like just blending these in. And he's gonna have different looks all throughout the video for this. So he kind of got like a shy boy look. The seahorse look, we had to transform him into a seahorse. I'll show you how I did that. It's pretty difficult. Like the player look, the dancer look, all that. So we just kind of fused like a lot of those looks together. And then on top of that, this video is actually inspired by Beyonce's Flawless. So we kind of, as you can see, he's with the wig and a checker shirt, and some scenes are in black and white. This video is definitely inspired by that because it just kind of fits the mold and the scenes and the breakout dance and the very, very like Urban Decay type of look. And at this warehouse, it was very difficult to pull off because at this warehouse, it was we only had like really one location to shoot at. So I shot some stuff outside as well. But as you all can see in this one room, I shot a lot of different scenes in this one room. So between the haze and the smoke, we're gonna get into that. But between the dance scenes, performance scenes, there's people like, you know what I'm saying, like a little couple B-roll snippets here and there. Like I had to maximize the hell out this warehouse location, man, just because it wasn't like a lot to work with. So this is again what I mean, like, you know, depending on what you're doing with your lighting, your focal length, and just your lighting setups in general, you can make a scene look any way you want to, any location. I can make one room look like we shot in seven different locations. You know what I mean? Like that's just knowing your craft. So for this one here, Pablo Tubes came out in clutch for this one here. And so what I did for example, the scene you're looking at now, when it's kind of like bouncing between teal and orange, I just had literally two people to spin around in a circle with Pablo Tubes to kind of give that teal and orange look. And I filled it up with like a lot of haze. Just make it look very filmy, man. I think it turned out gorgeous. It's probably like one of my favorite lighting scenes, a lot of my video projects that I've done all year. And then also, this has been my first time filming a dancing scene. I really had to watch and learn them do their choreography first before I kind of just jumped in. And then once I was able to do that, I had to unrig the A7S III again to put it back into a gimbal. I needed 4K 60 the entire time. And I did shoot some stuff in 4K 120. I didn't use it, but 4K 60 was a phenomenal option to use for this scene here. Being able to slow everything down when I needed to, it was just perfect. So when you are shooting dancing, at least from what I learned, is you definitely want to get like a lot of coverage. So shoot the dance scene more than once. I think I shot this thing like 5 to 6 times just to make sure if I needed to cut between something, I can do that. And it didn't matter where I was at. Same thing with the lighting here. You know, again, the use of Pablo Tubes, haze machine, all that came into play to just make it a very dynamic scene. So with that being said, man, I really don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. But if you all have any questions about what I've used and stuff like that, I got links down in the description below for you to check out all the gear that I use for this video project. But I appreciate y'all for watching, man. If y'all like to see more video breakdowns like this, please let me know down in the comments below. And I got y'all. It's your boy Sean B from Brookssmedia, and I'm out. Deuces.